Hi, this is Gary from Texas Zone 9A. Trying to get used to saying that. Today's gonna be a little bit different video than I've done in the past. It's just my 5 resolutions that I'm making for 2024. It's December 29th. Some I've already kind of done a little bit on it. It started almost like a joke because I was telling my parents and I telling my wife and kids that my New Year's resolution this year was to be able to give be more open about my opinions. And for people that don't know me, I'm a Barnett. We have very strong opinions. We say we don't argue a lot, but we have very loud discussions. I've never let lack of knowledge about a subject keep me from having an opinion upon that subject, and almost all the Barnetts are that way too. We used to when I was in school, one of the things people said about me was the fact that I could argue with the fence post and win the argument. But I do want to be able to, one thing that I'm bad at, I think, is that whenever I give comments on different YouTube channels, sometimes I think I come over as being maybe a know-it-all, maybe, too critical. I'm going to try to be a little more complimentary, not try to, what I see is I'll see somebody going to make a mistake and say, hey, here, try this, or this may not work, or that may not work. And, try to be a little bit more, not so much the person that's going to just be there for information, somebody that's just there to tell you how to do it, because I'm not an expert, never claimed to be an expert. I think sometimes I come across like that, especially on my comments, because sometimes I get laser focused and I get too focused on, hey, I see something that needs to be fixed and I want to fix it. I know one time I had a boss that told me, he said, with his wife, he said, women don't always want you to fix their problems, and men tend to try to do that. He said sometimes his wife would come in, she'd be complaining about this or about that, and he'd start trying to fix the problem, and she'd get mad at him. So he finally started asking her, do you want me to fix the problem, or you just want me to hear you rant? Do you just want me to hear it out? That's fine. I won't try to fix your problem. But and I sometimes I have sometimes a hard time with that, because I see something, I want to fix it. I see something people doing in the video, and I want to fix it because I don't want them to fail. I want them to be successful. And I also know I can be wrong. I'm not one that says I'm wrong. And if I have an opinion and I'm wrong, I will admit that opinion another day. Usually, if you know that you win the argument, it's the next time the argument comes up, do people switch sides? But anyway, I do want to be able to be a little bit more nice and a little bit less, try not to come off as a know-it-all when I come on my comments. I do want to be able to be a little nicer, a little bit more complimentary. I've never been one to give compliments very well. In fact, sometimes I give compliments, I get in trouble. So I'm just not one that's going to walk up and say, hey, you look really nice today. Just don't do that. Number 2, I would really like to, and I've been working on this for a year, and then my wife got health. I never knew how I was going to do it, but I've been thinking about it for over a year now, is find a way to be able to have something locally that, whether or not it's a classroom type thing, it's a seminar type thing, or if I can just say, hey, let's find some people, 4 or 5 younger people that don't know much about gardening, give them a 4 by 8 foot plot and teach them how to garden in their own area, and make it local so it can be hands-on. YouTube does have a problem, is you don't get stuff hands-on. Many people may have a question, but they're very reluctant to leave a comment. I was that way not long ago, believe it or not. I never would hardly comment on any videos. In fact, it's probably about 2 or 3 years ago before I made a first comment on any video. A lot of people are just nervous about that. Once you start doing it a few times, you lose your nervousness. But I would like to be able to find a way to help local gardeners. So if anybody's out there that said, hey, we've done this, or we went to, I don't want it to be something that's big. I don't want to invite 20 people over and try to do a class. I would want it to be 5 or 6 people. But if you're local and interested in that, let me know. We'll see if I can't figure something out. But it would be something I'd like to get started. Number 3. I'd like to be able to lose 10 pounds to get back down to 200 pounds. Now, last year my resolution was I wanted to lose 5 pounds, get down to 200 pounds, so I've upped my game. I'm doubling what I want to do. and hopefully I have better results than I had last year. Number 4, I would really like to increase the diversity in my container fruit trees. And by that, I've already started doing it some. I've done a video about planting the different citrus in containers, the blood orange and the Valencia orange, and the sumo mandarin, and in the past I've had table grapes that I grew in a container, because that's kind of where a lot of gardening has went. People putting stuff in containers, and being able to try to explain that, help people with that, and do it on my own. Just here's how you do it, and be able to do the step-by-step process of that. I'm really heavy into figs right now. That's in containers. I really want to get away from the container figs, and maybe have a couple of different varieties. Put those in the ground, because they'll survive here in the ground, and go, instead of growing a lot of figs, try to grow a lot of something else. So if you have any ideas, say, hey, I'd like to see, can you grow this in a container? I'll give it a shot. And a lot of times you'd be surprised what you can grow in a container. I do say it needs to be at least a 5-gallon container. I like the 20-gallon, lick tubs that cows are out. But try to get a diversity of different ones, and so you may see that more as I get into it. I'm trying to grow I'm doing blackberries in a container this year, and try to get some other things in a container that I might not have done even in the past. And number 5, I've seen other people do this, and I used to be a youth pastor for many years, and I enjoyed that part of it. I'd like to be able to get the way to put devotionals on the channel and not make it, it's going to be a separate thing. It will be, if I put up devotional, it's going to be devotional number 1, number 2, number 3. I'm not going to try to trick anybody into anything, but if somebody be interested in that, you see a lot of, I've been in gardening all my life, and I've been in church all my life. When I was born, the actual preacher spent the night at our house. And Daddy said he'd never seen a man pray so hard in his life. Because my wife went into labor, my mother went into labor, and with me. And Daddy, I always thought Dad was in the house, but Daddy ran across the street to the school because they didn't have a phone in the house. And then basically Mom delivered me. So I've gardened ever since I was 6, 7 years old. I'd be putting stuff in pots and things and growing things. I had my own little plot, 2 foot by 2 foot plot. I'd grow sunflowers and stuff in. And Daddy had the main garden that they'd plant in. But I want to be able to get those devotionals, and don't expect I know it's not going to get the views that the other part of the channel will get. I understand that people don't tune in to this channel, necessarily for a devotional. But some people may be interested in that. And I will say the devotion will be from a conservative Christian background. It won't be one of these things to tell you how to get rich quick or how to receive different blessings from God or anything like that. I used to take my Bible. I always took my Bible to church. One of the reasons was that I could read the verses before and after to see if that's what it really meant. Because a lot of times preachers are really bad about cherry picking things and twisting stuff just a little bit to make it sound like that's what it is. Anyway, that may come up in the future. Still kind of thinking about it and seeing how that would work. I was youth pastor for many years, and I enjoyed that part of it. The way we are right now with my wife's health and stuff, we can't do that. I haven't done it for a few years even before that. But I'd like to kind of, maybe do that. I don't know. I always really wanted, to be honest with you, to get a thing where it would be almost like a youth group, but also be tied in with gardening. It would hit both of my passions. But sometimes it's hard to find people that's got both passions. But anyway, those are my 5 resolutions. If you have any resolutions you want to put in the comments, let me know. Any ideas about any resolution I'm trying to do other than diets, because I'm not going to go on an Atkins diet or anything like that. But I am trying to lose some weight, just because my doctor tells me I need to. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and see you next time.